All right, let me tell you a sad story about myself when I was trying to learn Taiwanese Hokkien. I had this teacher, I remember his name, Teacher Ge. I've forgotten all the other teachers' names, but I remember his because in the end, I hated going to his class. And the problem is it's one-on-one, one-to-one, so there's nowhere to hide. And each day would go something like this. He would say after me this sentence. And I go, he said, no, say it after me, say it properly. I said, no, say it again. And after that, I said to him, would you please write it on the board? He said, no, there's no need, just say it after me. And every day was failure day. He gave me the feeling I'm never going to be able to learn Hokkien. Why? Because his style and my style were very different. I'm very visual. I think he was very auditory, and he wasn't willing to cooperate with my learning style. He wasn't willing to cooperate with my learning style. How would you define a learning style? What is a learning style?
How you acquire or learn a language? What means do you get it?
Yeah, what means?
What's easiest for you?
Yeah, what's easiest, what's most comfortable for you. For me, seeing everything written down is more comfortable. For others, and I admire them tremendously, they can just pick it up by hearing it, yeah. What suits you best? And there's three areas of learning styles. One is to do with the mind, the second one to do with the senses, and then the third one, personality. Okay, let's first look at the mind. If you get out the piece of paper with just 10 questions on, the first question I prefer to learn from A and then B. Let's just look at that one first, okay? A or B. You got it there? Let's get to know each other. Yes? Yes. Yes, on one of those three bits of paper. Unfortunately, I don't have a spare copy of that, but I do of the other two. You probably know who you are in this respect. It was when I handed out the 3 bits of paper. The 3 bits of paper yesterday. Okay. All right. Hands up those who had more A's than B's. Who had more A's than B's? I hadn't added up. There's only 10. Yeah. There's 10 questions. The one with 10 questions on. All right. Yeah. Who had more A's than B's? Oh, okay. We're pretty. What are we? Analytical or intuitive? Analytical, yes. Let's look at the analytical person. They're organized, they like things done logically, they're disciplined, they like details and facts. This is all me, step by step. They're task-oriented and they're goal-oriented. They gradually build up the picture from the parts. At university, what subject do these people, well, what subjects do these sorts of people like to study?
Science and engineering.
Science, yeah, engineering. Mm-hmm.
Math.
Yeah, maths, wherever you come from. Mm-hmm. Those who write software programs, IT people, who have to think very logically step by step. Accountants, who love the details. Okay? Yes, come in. Yeah.
I also need to know what the big picture is.
Yes, okay.
And I need to know what the purpose of the program is.
Right.
So that I can
Go step by step, yes. The woods and the trees bit.
Exactly,
yes.
Exactly. If I
No.
don't know what the whole purpose is, then I very well
No.
be going.
But as a matter of interest, what did you come out on your thing? More A's or more B's?
Actually, I took both on that one.
Oh, okay, good. On all of them, 1 to 10.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, both. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's very good. The person who has half and half, you know, some A's and some B's, that is a tremendous advantage because when it comes to the grammar section of the lesson, you can use your analytical powers. When it comes to the activity, you can use your more intuitive powers. The people who worry me are the extremes, especially the extreme analyticals, who are all engineers. They're the extreme, I do, they're the extreme. At the end of 10C, one guy said to me, Martin, what have you got against engineers? You know, but yeah. Okay. The intuitives. Who are the intuitives? Who had more B's than A's? Oh, yes, they're nice people. Let's look at them. Actually, in the past, I didn't have a slide for the intuitives. They know who they are, right? But I had to produce one for the analyticals, you know, who want to know. They like having fun. No particular goal. Use their intuition. Sees the relationships. Prefers the novel and new. Dreams creative ideas. Flashes of insight. What might they like to study at university?
Quilting.
Sorry? Quilting. Don't you have to count the number? That sounds more like the... Yes, I think it depends whether you like to analyze literature or not.
Even like art.
Art, yeah, art, music. I often think of art and music, yeah.
What about neither?
Neither what?
Neither art nor math.
Oh, I see. Well, then you're probably in the middle again.
Yeah, history, I think. Is something.
Yeah, history, right. Literature, I think, is one of those. Yeah, yeah. I'm going to put something on the board now, and I want you to use your instinctive feeling, your gut reaction. Do you prefer the right side or the left side? They say the right side are the more intuitives. They take in the whole picture. The left side, now isn't this absolutely fascinating? The pistil can be broken down into the ovary and the stigma and the star, you see. The analyticals find that fascinating and the intuitives are bored. All right, let's just revisit the analytical learners again. If a textbook, each lesson in the textbook has a story, has some grammar, has an activity, which part of the lesson will the analyticals enjoy the most?
Grammar.
The grammar. And, my dear friends, who writes textbooks? Analyticals. They write for their own people. There's a series of textbooks in Taipei that with every revised edition, the grammar is analysed in even greater detail. Which causes frustrates. And you can always tell an analytical, they're the person, especially sort of the engineer and that sort of, they're the person who has the coloured version of the textbook. They use different coloured highlight pens in the grammar section of the book. Yeah. What about the, oh sorry, so here, what do they enjoy? They enjoy the grammar rules, they like learning in a classroom, one-to-one, one-on-one, they enjoy studying by themselves, they very much focus on the structure of the language. We're going to come back to that in a minute. Let's look at the intuitives. Which part of the lesson do the intuitives enjoy? The story and the activity. In Taiwan, we have a series of textbooks written by the Maryknoll fathers for their language school on Taiwanese Hokkien. And it's full of stories, full of sentence examples. In fact, in the days when we had tapes, the first book had 18 tapes, and the second book had 20 tapes. Must have been an extreme, intuitive Catholic father who wrote this series. And what was interesting is what I found amongst OMFers who used that series is that 2 years later, even though they were speaking very good, very fluent Taiwanese, the analyticals still didn't feel comfortable. I haven't yet got a foundation in the language. So eventually, I wrote a summary of the grammar of Taiwanese Hokkien and gave it to them. And they were happy. They didn't need it because what was coming out of their mouths was perfectly good and accurate Hokkien. But Marcus, I like my people in Taiwan to be happy. So I wrote this for them. The thing with the intuitives is they enjoy being creative, small group, they want to interact. I think, as I think about Emo and myself, The intuitives had a great time the last 2 days. They must be in real pain now. Where the analyticals don't mind so much. You see, the intuitives want to interact, okay? And so they feel whether it's correct. They feel whether the sentence is correct. They can't quote the grammar rule, but that's not important, right? To the intuitive. How can you tell? What's an easy way to tell an analytical from an intuitive? What you do is you ask them a question, okay? You ask them a question. The answer's not important. What you ask them is you ask them a question and you say, how did you handle that question in your mind? You see? For instance, I'll ask you, would you like to come with me this afternoon to Tanglin Shopping Mall to buy some Marmite? Okay? The analytical has to understand every word. Would you like to come with me? Yes, this afternoon, yes. To Tanglin Shopping Mall, oh yeah, that's right, down the road, to buy some Marmite, you see. Then they're thrown. They don't know what to do. Where the intuitive, in a mysterious way, mysterious to the analyticals, of course, takes in the whole sentence and says, I think what Martin's saying is, shall we go shopping and we're going to buy something down the road? And they're normally right. That's the annoyance of their analytical husband. So, what I want to say again is, it's the extremes, either extreme analytical and to a certain extent extreme intuitives, who are in trouble. The people who are in the middle have a tremendous advantage. They can use both, all right? Now, a word to my analytical friends. Because for you, getting a foundation in the grammar is so important, whether it is important, we're not going to discuss that, but for you it's important. You will therefore go slower than your intuitive wife. Now, the key question is, can you handle that? You see? When your teacher says to you, your wife's already at lesson 10 and you're only at lesson 5, why don't you go faster? Can you handle that? If you can handle that, that's okay. Because for you, you won't be comfortable until you get that firm foundation in the grammar. Whether you need it is another matter. Any questions on the analytical versus the intuitives?
I have a question.
Yeah, come in.
If you are analytical, is there, or how do you avoid the risk of, in your goal to have such a great understanding of every grammar and every word, your comprehension comes at risk. So you're not understanding. Will you get there? Maybe I'm jumping ahead.
No, that's great. That's a very key.
How do you deal with that when the intuitive person can just kind of get a sense of what's being communicated and understand, and the analytical person doesn't understand every word, so they feel like they don't understand what's happening?
That's a very important question, and it has a very easy answer. www.chinesemadeeasier.com, how to strengthen your listening comprehension. Because it's true, that's the problem that the analyticals, they go outside and they don't understand what's going on. We'll actually look at it when we look at the older language learner next week. But it's very crucial that the heavy analyticals really struggle, because every time they go outside, they miss a word, they don't understand, they feel embarrassed. They say, well, I think I'll stay indoors. Yeah. All right. What's these? Oh, so you want a teacher who has clear explanations of the grammar, focuses on the details and facts, prepares well for class, but who doesn't neglect practice. That's very important. Because the analytical has all these questions that they want answered. 9 out of 10 which the teacher doesn't know how to answer, but in Asia, because the teacher knows everything and the student knows nothing, she's going to have a go. And the analyticals won't find the answer 9 times out of 10 satisfactory, okay? And the danger is the class hour's gone with this. There's a guy, actually had me a doctor in Tianjin, and every time I went to his home, he used to get out his Palm Pilot, go, Martin, I had 12 grammar questions to ask you tonight. And we couldn't talk about anything else until he'd gone through these 12 questions. Yeah, poor guy. So you need a teacher who says, all right, We'll have 5 minutes on your questions and then put them away. We're going to start talking the language. It's very important. The intuitive learner just has a really nice time. Discovering the rules, uses, and therefore they need a teacher who is not a heavy analytical. Okay? Someone who understands them, is flexible, has lots of games and activities. Okay? Yeah, come in.
That's my problem. When I want to Wycliffe training, there's emphasis on TPR, which is more intuitive.
Yes.
But I'm a very analytical learner.
Right.
It's extremely frustrating to me.
Yes.
To do all this.
And this is where today, when you have some of these teaching language methods that focus on this is the way it should be done. Yeah, and it's very frustrating. Oh no, you mustn't write anything down, sort of stuff. Yeah. This is why I think this lecture on learning styles is very important. That then you need to find the teacher who is trying to understand how to cooperate with you and avoid teacher Ger at all costs. Poor teacher Ger. He's actually a reverend. All right. Now, so we looked at the analyticals versus intuitives, but there's a linguist called Kolb who said, well, we can look at it another way. We can look at how people process language. Some are sort of active doers, they're impulsive, they're risk takers, and at the other end are those who are reflective, watchers, they like to ponder things, they like to contemplate. And so we can, actually, you think back to primary school, you know, when the teacher said, now, 3 plus 4, what does it equal? And Johnny, I know, it's 8, it's 8. You see, the teacher said, now, Johnny, think before answering. You see, the impulsive. Where at the other end of the scale, you see, ask the question. Now, Mary, we can't hang around all day just for you. Come on, what's the answer? Tell us quickly. And does Mary like that? No. No, okay. So what we can do, therefore, is to divide people into 4 areas. And I think that the DISC, D-I-S-C person, who knows the DISC, DISC? Oh, okay, good. She was, I think, more in the States than others. If you have opportunity, similar to Myers Briggs, MBTI, but slightly different, very helpful. And so I think these 4 different sorts of learners fit nicely with the DISC. So if you know that, it'll be more helpful. If you don't, it doesn't matter. So if you can now get out the piece of paper that has 24 questions on, the first one being, I like making things happen. I like making things happen. That piece of paper. Okay? You all got that? I'm going to call out numbers, and I just want you to look to see if you've checked these numbers off. Okay, I'm going to call out some numbers and just check how many of these numbers you got. Okay, I'll read them out twice. Ready? 1, 5, 9, 13, 17, 21. I'll say it again. 1, 5, 9, 13, 17, 21. If you had 4 or 5 of these, this is, could describe the D, I think can stand many things, but will be nice and say it's the dynamic language learner, okay? The dynamic language learner. What do they like? They like to learn by trial and error. They like challenge, flexibility. They're willing to take risks. They act on their instinctive, their gut feelings, okay? They like hands-on experience. Sorry. I've written a series of textbooks for those learning Chinese in China and Taiwan. And I just warn you, if you're going to use that series and you're a high D, the layout of every lesson from lesson 1 to lesson 60 is exactly the same. You see? I love templates. Okay? It starts with a story, then the vocabulary, then the grammar, then the activity, then the notes. And every lesson is laid out exactly the same. And that really frustrates this learner. You know, why can't the guy be a bit more imaginative? You know what I mean? You know. So I just warn you, these people are easily bored by routine. Okay. I'll now look at the I. I'll read out some more numbers to see if you check these off. 2, 6, 10, 14, 18, 22. I'll read them out again. 2, 6, 10, 14, 18, 22. Let's get to know you. Any here have 5 or 6 of those? Oh, yes, these are nice people, yeah. What about these people? They reflect and look for meaning. They value personal relationships. Not only are the others in the class are their friends, they want the teacher to be their friend. Sensitive to feelings, their teacher is their motivator. So their teacher, you need a teacher who's going to give you positive feedback and affirmation. That's going to keep you going. They said they need positive feedback. Sorry, where am I? Okay. That's the higher. We're going to revisit these people in a minute. So these people are the people. Now let's look at the S, which is similar to the S in the Myers Briggs one. Sorry, let me read the numbers out. The S, you see I'm not very imaginative with the number system. 3, 7, 11, 15. Tell me the next two. 1923. Yes. I'll say it again. 3, 7, 11, 15, 19, 23. So you can tell I'm a high S. I'm one of these people. Mm-hmm. Who are these people? Do you get 4 or 5 or 6? Oh, yes, right, the high S people. Mm-hmm. They integrate theory with practice. They're not interested in theory for its own sake, but they want to think, how can I use this theory? That's why I like teaching OC. You'll find it's application of theory all the time. Mm-hmm. They like structure and clear instructions. They like practical. They always think of practical solutions to problems. Mm-hmm. They like traditional classrooms. Okay? So teachers like to teach this sort of student. Teachers like to teach this sort of student because they enjoy school. If the teacher does things in structure, clear way, the teacher likes this. Now let's finally look at the C people. Call out the numbers. Or does anyone want to tell me what they are? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Say again. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Any here got 5 or 6 of those? Oh, no one. Really? No one got 5? Oh, here, 1 or 2. Yes, okay. These people are sort of, they like the theory bit. They love facts, increasing knowledge. They love to analyze the grammar. In fact, they love to analyze everything. They respect the expert. They're looking to the teacher. They want a teacher who is knowledgeable on this language. They like abstract concepts and ideas. The problem with these people, especially if they're missionaries, is they're more interested in knowing about the language than speaking the language. They're more interested in knowing about the language than speaking the language. There's a guy called Greg Thompson who wrote an article, and he wrote it for these sort of people. The article is called, "Leave Me Alone. Can't you see I'm trying to learn your language?" Okay? Leave me alone. Can't you see I'm trying to learn your language? That's these people. Wycliffe missionaries. I taught at Wycliffe for 3 years in the UK, and there was a lecture. I never went to it, but the title grabbed me. Why are Wycliffe missionaries good analyzers of the language, but poor speakers of the language? Okay? Now, it wasn't me who was giving the lecture. It was a Wycliffe person. All right? So when it comes to studying linguistics, these sort of people want to study theoretical linguistics. The S people, like me, want to study applied linguistics. Okay? There's a major difference between these sort of people. All right, so let's just revisit. Any questions up to now? We'll just...
What is your combination of
Yeah, that's good. That's good, because then, just like with the analytic, you can use your strengths in other areas. It's the combination that's always the best. It's if you're all one, all C particularly, that you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Just to refresh, what was the D?
The D was the dynamic. Often think of leaders. I often say the D, when you think of leaders, dynamic, dogged, difficult to work with, all these Ds, you know what I mean? The I is the people person. No, it's not me, I'm the S. No. No, OC exhausts me. But the money's good, so I keep coming. Could you delete that? So action-oriented, what sort of teacher do you want? Someone who's going to give you a challenge, okay? Lots of variety, okay? Flexible teaching method. Allow students to take risks. That's the sort of teacher you're looking for. Mm-hmm. And also lesson content is practical. The D learner is normally a very good language learner. They're taking risks. They love challenges. That's ideal for a language learner. These people as well isn't aloof. How do we say, is another word in English? In Chinese, gao gao zai shang. That's another word. High and mighty, did you say that? Yeah. Give students positive feedback. You see, the teacher needs to allow them time to think. They're looking for meaning, continually affirm the students, but also because they want to chat with their friends, allow students time to chat. This is important, that you want a teacher who's going to say to you at the beginning of the lesson, oh, this lesson we're going to do today is really useful, you see. Mm-hmm. It's all about buying fruit and vegetables or buying clothes in a department store. The S person comes alive then. Oh, good, something I can use, okay? They want instructions that are clear, step by step. The teacher has to prepare thoroughly.